Welcome back, family, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast slash YouTube slash We Do It All. As always, I'm your host, John. Very happy to be here. My boy T Riz in the building. How you doing, my dog?
Doing good, man. How y'all guys doing? Listen, it's early over here, man. You know what I'm saying? So this video's gonna come out tomorrow or something like that. But over here it's early. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little tired, but listen, man, we gotta get this episode out for y'all. You feel me? So make
Man,
sure y'all drop that sub and turn on notifications. And we appreciate y'all.
we appreciate y'all, man. My boy T talking about this early over there, man. That boy crazy. It's 11 o'clock over there in the East Coast, dog. But it's all good, man. I know some people like to sleep a little more. But anyway, y'all, what's up? We happy to have you on the back here with us. Today is Saturday, May 4th. May, what I'm talking about, March 4th. I'm tripping. Today's Saturday, March 4th. Got a jam-packed episode. We'll be talking about KD, LeBron, the Knicks win streak, and then we got some cool segments that we'll get into. But that's neither here or there. Like how Trent said, make sure you smash that subscribe button, and let's go ahead and get into it. My boy T, let's start with the NBA news, rumors, and update segment. I think the biggest update that we got to kick it off with is, our guy KD, the Slim Reaper, had his first two games in the Suns uniform. First, it came at a win over the Hornets, 105-91, and then the second game is a win over the Bulls. So talk to me, T, about, first impressions on KD in the Suns uniform. How you feeling about that?
Listen, man, I was texting John about this and I said, bro, people overreacting, man. Like it's only two games in. I don't get too excited. I don't my lows and highs. Like I don't do that no more because a lot of these super teams, they can start off looking good and then, they can just fall off. A great example, the Lakers, I know I bring them up a lot, but when Russ got traded over there, everybody was super excited. It was looking okay for a while, then it just fell off. And I'm not saying KD because KD can fit with anybody, right? And Russ is a little bit harder and stuff like that. But let's be honest, bro, they play some bums. They ain't play no competition yet. They play the Charlotte Hornets and the Chicago Bulls. Let's relax. But one thing that I did notice is that KD is barely cracking 30 plus minutes. And that's a good sign for him, right? Because he's aging, he's been dealing with a lot of injuries, and he's efficient, right? The last game, he had 20.7 for 10, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. That's a perfect night for the office for Kevin Durant. Not asking for him to do too much, not asking him to drop 40 just to win in Brooklyn. No, he's on Phoenix. He got other superstars to play with him, like a Devin Booker and a star center like Ayton. So he's good with that. But then the other game against Charlotte, only 27 minutes, 10 for 15. Once again, efficient, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. So I love the minutes that he's getting. I believe he is on a small minute restriction, so maybe that's why the minutes are a little bit down a little bit. And I know he sold you earlier for some money. It's funny because these players they make millions of dollars, and we're betting on them, and they're selling our hard work money, man. It irks our soul, man. We could put $20 in, but we could do a 6-man parlay, and that could be $2,000. But KD don't want to make one layup or shoot one shot, and it sells all $20. That $20 can win the gas.
Man,
You know what I'm
oh
saying?
man, T, you preaching the gospel right now. That's crazy. I feel
But
because
like
man, I swear KD had 4 minutes and could have had just one more bucket, but chose to just not play anymore. So I feel you. That's preaching the gospel. I love it.
but I don't. There's not really too much to say about it. There's 2 games into the season. They are undefeated with him so far. I never thought the fit was going to be a bad fit. The only thing that I was concerned about is the role players. You brought up on the phone yesterday, like some players getting out of rhythm because their rotations are a little bit different. They're not getting less minutes. They're getting more minutes, and so I still feel like that's still intact because when KD comes back from minute restriction, maybe his minutes go up a little bit more. But we'll see from there, man. Monty Williams is a good coach, so I think they'll be perfectly fine. I don't think they'll win the championship this year, but we'll see.
Man, we will see. Yeah, they definitely are looking scary. I do agree with you though. I also don't have them as championship favorites this year. Chemistry is a real thing. But look, T, I mean, they clearly got a good roster. They clearly got good on paper talent and even on the court talent. But chemistry is a real thing, right? The Bucks have been running it back for some years together, so they have real chemistry. The Celtics have been running it back for some years together. They have real chemistry. They lost last year together, so they felt that. So they built that together. So that continuity is real for them. Now, the Suns don't yet have that continuity, and I believe they're about 20 to 25 games away from playoffs starting. So, what I want to ask you is yes, they have a good roster, but no, they haven't had the chance to have the continuity. Do the Suns have the most pressure in the NBA to win a championship this year?
Um, I mean, when you come out and make a big move like that, I think you have to. There's pressure no matter what. Um, I tell you this: if they don't win, which I don't think they are going to win this season, John, right? I think next season, man, that's a must win. That there's like it's just must win, right? Because Chris Paul is getting older, right? Your role players that you traded for, some of them may not be there. Example like Terrence Ross, he's on an expiring deal, right? So you're going to be missing a lot of key role players, and we all know when you to win a championship, it's not just because you have superstar talent. To win a championship, you have to have the depth around you to help out your superstar talent, right? And so that's why when you look at these championship teams like the Milwaukee Bucks in the day, they had Giannis, but what else did they have around them? They had a Bobby Portis, they had a Javon Carter. They had these pieces around them that made them compete. And so I think James Jones made this trade to win this season. So there's a lot of pressure on him, but I think there's a lot of pressure on Kevin Durant. Now, this is the second super team that he joined, right? He won with Golden State. I don't care what anybody says. The Phoenix Suns are now a super team. Devin Booker's trying to downplay and said there's only one star in this team and one All-Star and stuff like that. Because Devin Booker to make the All-Star game. Come on, Devin Booker. We all know what's up. The only reason why you didn't make it is because you was injured half of the season. You wasn't injured. You're an All-Star player, no matter what, bro. So I think there's a lot of pressure on this team, no matter what. You got CP3 who needs to win a championship. He needs to win a championship. He has so much pressure on him. And I think a lot of people like took some slack off him, like, oh, he's getting older, this and that. No, you still gotta. Every single team that he was on was competitive. He needs to win, and if he doesn't win, I want the same slander that they give other point guards and other players on this Phoenix Suns team. There's no excuses. So I think there's a lot of pressure.
There is a lot of pressure, but would you say that they have the most pressure in the league though as a team?
No, no, no. I don't think they got the most pressure. I think who has the most pressure is going to be the Nuggets. And the reason why I say the Nuggets is because, listen, people are already calling on Nikola Jokic, John. People are already calling him saying he's stat padded. And we all know what they did to Russell Westbrook a few years ago. Remember when he was getting triple doubles and stuff like that? They're like, is his team winning? His team was winning games, right? Nikola Jokic's team's winning games. But at the end of the day, what mattered is that championship gold, right? And the Nuggets, they have a good roster. They surrounded Jokic with a lot of good players. The additions of Bruce Brown and KCP was absolutely huge because they bring so much to that roster. A healthy Jamal Murray and a healthy Michael Porter Jr. now, you could tell they're finally, looking like themselves. And then Aaron Gordon could have been an all-star this year. So they have this team around them. So I think there's a lot of pressure on the Nuggets, and they're a number one seed. When you're a number one seed, that already puts enough pressure on you, right? Because you could potentially be losing to the eighth seed. And the eighth seed this year, we don't know yet, right? The Clippers just fell to eighth seed, right? You might see the Lakers. You might see the Pelicans. The eighth seed ain't going to be no joke for the Nuggets, right? So there's a lot of pressure. And I know the Clippers are on a 5-game losing streak, but let's be honest with you. Is that a first-round matchup that you want to see? Even though they may be the favorites, do you really want to see a Kawhi Leonard? You want to see a Paul George, even though I think Paul George is toast? Their team is talented, right? They're going to fight no matter what. They're going to fight. So I don't know if you really, don't X out the Clippers. Do you want to see the Pelicans with Zion being fully healthy? We know they were a top 3 seed, John. When they were healthy, this was a top 3-4 seed in the league. Do you really want to see the Lakers if they get that with an Anthony Davis and a potential LeBron James being back? So there's a lot of pressure on Denver, a lot of pressure on that team.
Yeah, man. I would agree. There's a lot of pressure on Denver. I do like that route of going. Denver has the most pressure, but I'm gonna go in the East, man. I'm gonna go with. I'm juggling back and forth between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics, man. But honestly, I'm gonna go with the Celtics, and here's why. The reason I'm gonna go with the Celtics is because last year they choked, man. They choked in the heart of the best place you could choke, man. I mean, actually, the worst place you could choke, the biggest stage of them all. And what's up? They didn't choke. The Celtics.
No. That. That's saying
Oh, come on, Doug.
pause.
Okay, pause. Okay. Yeah, the Celtics choked at the biggest stage in the NBA Finals. And when you look at great players, the Kobe's, the LeBrons, the Currys, when they face adversities in the NBA Finals or whenever they face adversity in their career, the next years that they had a big bounce back year. So I think that there's a lot of pressure on the Celtics and Tatum to bounce back, for Tatum to come back and solidify his spot as that guy. You know, he always talk about having that Kobe mentality, that Mamba mentality. Well, he needs to prove that by coming out this year and really making sure that the Celtics win a championships. And I think the Celtics got a lot of pressure on that.
Yeah, I mean the Milwaukee Bucks. I wouldn't say too much pressure on them because they won a championship.
That is true. That
You know,
but the only thing I feel like, if they don't win a championship this year, people are going to be like, they're not the same anymore ever since Chris Middleton injury, and people aren't going to really fear them like how they should be feared, in my opinion.
man, they're the best team in the league right now. I don't care anybody.
Most dominant for sure.
Yeah.
But all right, brother. So look, before we get off the point of pressure, okay, real quick, give me your top 3 players this season that have the most pressure on them to win an NBA championship.
Nikola Jokic starting off number 1, man. He has 2 MVPs. He's gonna have back-to-back MVPs, right? So you're number 1. He's gonna win. He's the number 1 seed, and there's no more excuses. There's just no more excuses, right? We cut you some slack. You gotta, John. They never made it to the Western Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? They never did it. They got it. Bro, I don't even think a Western Conference Finals is acceptable for this Nuggets team no more, bro.
Yeah.
It's win or go home. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Nikola Jokic, Kevin Durant. Actually, let me not put Kevin Durant. I don't want to put Kevin Durant in this list, but I'm looking at each conference. James Harden. Let me pull my middle finger up. James Harden. Listen, James Harden has a lot of pressure on his team. You know, they obviously fleeced the Brooklyn Nets for that Ben Simmons trade, but Philly been in limbo the last like 4 or 5 seasons. They've been in limbo. The closest they ever was Kawhi Leonard sending them home in that game winner. That's the closest they ever was. You know, you traded for James Harden to team up with Joel, and somehow you cannot win a championship with the roster that's constructed. I think if they lose this year, don't be surprised if that team blows it up. And I'm not saying blow it up. I'm talking about a little rebuild in the sense of some players out. James Harden might be out. You know, I keep hearing this thing about James Harden to Houston, John. You really believe that?
No, of course not.
But James Harden might be that person, be like, I just want to go back to Houston, you know, go to the strip joints and stuff and have fun, you know. Who knows? Go to H Town. But James Harden has a lot of pressure, man. He been on way too many teams. I'm just gonna finish my thing. He played with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, no championships. He played with Joel Embiid, the best center, the second best center in the league, no championships. He played with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and back in the day, no championships. He played with way too many superstars. It's too much slack on him. He needs to win now. If he can't win now, he's never gonna win. That's it.
Man, all right. So talk to me. What's your last one?
Then my last one, man. I think, you know, you got to look at the Clippers. And the reason why I say the Clippers, you traded for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. They have yet to make a Western Conference Finals appearance. Like, they just been disasters. And I feel bad for Ballmer because, like, every single trade deadline, he's always improving his roster. You know, the year before they traded for Norman Powell and Robert Covington. Remember when they did that? I'm like, oh, that's a really, really good move. This year they traded for Eric Gordon, Mason Plumlee, Bones Highland, and then acquire Russell Westbrook. So they're always improving their roster, and they just always find a way to lose. Always find a way to lose. You know, they traded for Marcus Morris. You know, they brought in a head coach of Ty Lue. They stole that from, you know, the Los Angeles Lakers because he was supposed to go over there, potentially to coach LeBron. They do all these good moves and just can never win. So I think there's a lot of pressure. And don't be surprised if one of these players requests for a trade. Don't be surprised. Just don't be surprised, man. So I'm gonna put the Clippers unit as a whole, Jokic, and yeah, go from there.
All right. My top 3, I would have to go KD, only because I feel like ever since he left the Warriors, he hasn't had that championship, while the Warriors have been able to win a championship. Kevin Durant has been in really turmoil since he left the Warriors. And I know me personally, a big reason I said, oh, the Warriors are only good because Kevin Durant came and saved them. Kevin Durant came and saved them. And I think that KD not winning a championship and honestly playing so bad ever since he's been off the Warriors is playing a huge part in this, man. So I would say KD. So if he won a championship this year, I would take a lot of pressure off him. Chris Paul getting older. I mean, I think Chris Paul's window's been passed. I mean, he's just been blessed to be on some really good teams, and he's a really good team player, so he can fit in. But Chris Paul's window has been passed. His time's been expired. Should have been had a championship from his early days, and so I think that if he doesn't get one, this will probably be one of his last few chances. Because how great is Chris Paul going to be at 38, 39, and who's going to keep taking a chance on that? And then my third player, it's got to be Jason Tatum. I just talked about it. You want to have that Kobe mentality. You always talk about Kobe Bryant. Want to have that mama mentality. When Kobe Bryant lost to the Celtics, and I believe it was the '08 finals, he said it was the worst loss of his life. It hurt him, and he trained so hard, and he came back. In that 2010 finals, when the Lakers won against the Celtics, man, that was one of Kobe's greatest championships he talks about. So if Tatum wants to be like Kobe, he needs to find that inner Mamba in him. So those are my top three players. I would go with KD, CP, and Tatum for most pressure winning championship this year.
Kevin, I'll go Jokic, Harden, and hold, I'm having a brain fart. What did I go for?
You have the Clippers.
Clippers, yep.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, my boy. So let's get to some new updates around the league. Some injury updates. LeBron James out for at least 3 weeks with his foot tendon. Talk to me about some of your thoughts and how you feel about that.
Man, non-biased. I'm just gonna non-bias on this. Lakers season. Lakers goal of being that 6th seed is just not happening, right? I think that's closed. Darvin Ham and LeBron keep talking about, we don't want playing, we want 6th seed. Well, Darvin Ham is not happening. I know it seems so close, it's so tight and stuff, but when you don't got your best player out there, it's just, well, let me not say your best player. Well, your best player overall, but you just need him in general. He's the GOAT, I think Anthony Davis is the best player on the team overall that you need to, step up and stuff like that. But so that 6th seed, that dream's dead, right? The plane, you still have hope. That loss yesterday really messed you up, though. I'm not gonna lie. And the reason why I say that is because Timberwolves are a team that's still fighting to get in the play-in too, right? And so with that loss, you have 34 losses, right? And that's not a good sign. And with 34 losses, you really got to be fighting. You got to win like the next 3 games. And I don't know how convincing that you could do that, right? And I think the team constructed around them is good, though, John, right? They made a little run at the end of the game. Malik Beasley, Vanderbilt, Schroeder, Anthony Davis had to play pretty good last night. But the hopes of winning a championship, that's dead. The hopes of being number 6 is dead. The hopes of being in a playing team, you still have hope. It's not, before with LeBron, but man, this is not good. It's not good. And I tell you this, man. LeBron always says, man, he's going to wrap it up when his mind's not there. You think these injuries are coming in and be like, man, can't do this no more?
Nah, he's not doing it. He not hanging it up until he play with Bronny. I know that for a fact. He not hanging it up until he play with Bronny, no matter what's going on. Man, so that's how you feeling?
Bro, LeBron missed like 100 games the last few years.
I mean, he is 37, 38 though.
Yeah, but one thing about LeBron, he puts millions and millions of dollars in his body, right? And I know when you get older, these little injuries occur, but man, if he's gonna keep missing these games, they're never gonna win a championship, John.
I wouldn't say never win a championship
because they're never gonna win a championship
because we talk about it all the time. Once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. And
yeah,
you even said it. Once you
but how they get, but they have to get there.
And they can get there, and they absolutely can get there. Out of the to get to the 6th seed from where they are right now, that is a tough ask because they are 3 games out, and the West is real jam packed. So that is tough. Playing absolutely hopes are 100% still alive. The Lakers are in the 11th seed, one game out of the 10th seed. But once you get to the playoffs, you just said it yourself. You don't want to face a healthy LeBron, healthy Anthony Davis, and a healthy Lakers squad. And especially if you get to a 7-game series, then you definitely don't want to play them in a 7-game series. In a play-in situation, I guess anything can happen. It is one game at the best, 2 games. So that is, I guess, less ideal. But in the 7-game situations, I'll tell you what, man, I'm looking at the West up and down. There's not many teams I would take in the 7-game situation over the Lakers with a healthy LeBron and with a healthy Anthony Davis and with the current roster that they have construction around them, man.
Man, this sounds just coming from a Lakers fan, man, because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. These next 2 games, you don't win, your season's over, bro. And
they got it though. Memphis and Golden State. I think they definitely get Golden State every year. And Memphis, they own them in the season series so far. So
but that's what LeBron there, right? And so listen, the Warriors. The Warriors are hot. The Warriors are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. Without Steph Curry, and Steph Curry's coming back that game. Forgot about that. Steph Curry is returning that game against the Lakers. They know the Golden State Warriors are in limo too, right? They're in 5th seed. They're 34-30, but 1 loss, 2 losses brings them down to 11th seed, right? So all these games are super important. Golden State has been looking very good. Klay Thompson's looking like, I don't want to say prime Klay, but he's looking good, right? So now you're adding that another dynamic of Steph Curry back, their best player. It's going to be a tough game, right? I think Lakers always compete with the Warriors no matter what, right? Memphis, this is going to be a tough game too, but man, if you lose these 2 games, you're 30-36. It's just going to make it harder, right? And then let's be honest, John. I think the Knicks, I don't know what's going on. The Knicks, they're just on a whole nother level right now. Game winners, 8-game win streak. I don't know what's going on, right?
But look, let me just say something. That's tough to predict. You just trying to predict games or who's going to win or not. Like, I think we should more look at the facts, right? I think we should look at who's there and who's not and who's performing. Because AD been there, right? I get it. LeBron's out, and that is scary. But I do trust in Anthony Davis and these role players to keep this play-in hopes alive. I mean, first of all, let's be honest, okay? I know AD's missed some time, but the time that AD's been in there, it's reminding me of 2020 AD. 25 points per game, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 56% from the field, 81% from the free throw line. The only thing he's struggling in is his 3-point percentage, shooting 26%. And I for sure trust a guy like that to be able to lead this team full of role players. But just real quick, Trent, I know you want to talk real quick, but people need to wake up. This Laker roster is not the same anymore. People need to wake up and realize this is not the same roster that was constructed at the beginning of the season. And they need to wake up and need to realize that this team has the next man up mentality. Let's look back at these last couple of games that LeBron's been out. Dennis Schroeder has stepped up every single game to be a leading scorer. In the game against OKC, 26 points. Troy Brown, 26 points. Austin Reeves, 19. Lonnie Walker, 13. Malik Monk, 12. Mo, 12. Rui, 9. Everyone scored 5 or more points in the game in the game versus the Grizzlies. AD, 28 points, 19 rebounds. Lonnie Walker, 21 points. Malik Monk, 14. Austin Reeves, 17. So I say this to say this Lakers team is not that same Lakers squad that was at the beginning of the season that was sitting at the bottom of the league. With a healthy LeBron and healthy AD, they definitely have a chance to do something come playoffs. But even without a healthy LeBron, this team definitely still has play in hopes because let's remember, Anthony Davis is a MVP caliber when out there, and they do have the right roster.
Well, you meant. I know you're missing Malik Monk, but you meant to say Malik Beasley.
Oh, Malik Beasley. Sorry about that.
I know you're missing Monk because
Malik Monk.
Malik Monk is being that dude right now, right?
He is.
But John, man, it's like you sound like you're sounding like me, man, when I defend Russ. And I know this is just how Lakers fans are, because, bro, man, I deal with a bunch of Lakers fans, man. They're wild, bro. All my comments are filled with Lakers fans, man. They hate me. But John, man, we gotta be realistic, bro. Anthony Davis had one of his best games yesterday, and they still lost, right? And I do want to say this: he had a huge game.
He had a huge game, but not his best game of the season.
Well, that's what he has to do every single. But my point, what I'm trying to get at, if Anthony Davis is still putting close to 40 points a game and they're still losing, it's not a good sign. But I do agree the team is constructed very, very well now, right? They're making runs. They made a huge comeback against Dallas. No one has done it without LeBron was there. But like that the team before couldn't do that before, right? They're down 30 points. They're just gonna call it a night, right? It's over. But the teams, John, every team's hungry right now. And I'm not saying the Lakers are not hungry, but their teams around, like the teams that they got a player just better than the Lakers. And that's just what it is. And I know you don't want to admit it.
Wait, you said what?
The teams that they're playing, like right now, this stretch, everybody's hungry, no matter what, right? No one's getting sleep and stuff like that, including the Lakers. But the teams that are playing, they're just a better team overall than the Los Angeles Lakers.
Absolutely disagreed. 100% disagreed.
So Memphis ain't better than Lakers?
Yeah, I would take Memphis over the Lakers, but
listen. I never doubted Golden State. I remember telling you this too, right? I was like, bro, I can't just let the Golden State just be like, all right, whatever. Golden State, I think they have the better roster.
They have the better roster, but I wouldn't take them in a 7-game series.
Absolutely. And you got Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins coming back. I'm taking them in the 7-game series.
They have to defend the other side. You got to guard the other side of the ball.
Who's going to guard
Anthony? I don't
know.
Bro,
you
think they have an answer. Draymond Green is right there, but Draymond Green is too small. There's levels.
He's too small. He is too small, but that's why it's called coaching. And you get out coached by Steve Kerr, right? Darvin Ham's going to get out coached by Steve Kerr. That in coaching, like Bobby said, coaching doesn't matter. Coaching matters in the postseason, 100%. Because if you need to throw these different stuff out, different lineups out there, like there's teams that be like, let's go in man. No, let's go in zone. There's no shooters out there. We're gonna go in zone, and what you gonna do now, right? I seen the Kings do that yesterday. I'm not sure if you watched the Kings game yesterday, but the Kings went in zone yesterday, and it flustered the whole Clippers offense. It just flustered their whole offense. They didn't know what to do. They're just like passing the ball, forcing shots up, and that was because of Mike Brown. Mike Brown said, I bet I see what's on the court. I'm gonna go in zone right now. So you're telling me Steve Kerr is gonna outclass Mike Darvin Ham. Bro, I know you don't think Darvin Ham's that great. I know you don't.
Darvin Ham, he's not that great. He's a first-time coach, but
I give him that.
Steve Kerr is also not that great either, though. Steve Kerr is a decent coach. He's not a great coach.
But we're comparing coaches now.
Okay.
He destroys Darvin Ham. Just
destroys because he's a first-time head coach.
But I said that for the episodes. I said, man, I give some slack because he's a first-year head coach. But there's kind of no excuse, right? When you go to LA, there's always going to be pressure on you. No. There's always going to be pressure when you join LA, no matter what. So it doesn't matter. Like, bro, look at the Lakers fans. They on Twitter, they toast Darvin Ham every single night. And he says stupid comments like, Dennis Shooter, he's still a star. Like, he defends his players, which you should, because you're a head coach. You always defend your players and you don't criticize them, this and that. But the comments he says, John, I know you read the post games after. It's like, really, Darvin? Like, you don't believe that. You don't believe that, bro. Because I dealt with it when I was watching Lakers all the time. He says stupid stuff, bro. I don't know, bro, but Lakers season, they're not going nowhere.
That's cap. That's cap. I cannot coincide with that, and I can't agree with that. You can't say they're not going nowhere with a roster like that. But
next year, talk to me. 100%. 100% next year. 100%. Next year, they're good. This year, John, I've been hearing this. I've been hearing this excuse for 2 years now. As soon as we get a healthy LeBron and healthy AD, man, with some good players, we gonna be good. All right, bro. Well, we 19 games left in the season, and they're still 11 seed. So I still need to see it, man.
I mean, they just traded for the right pieces around them. So I mean, what we've been saying is the right pieces and healthy AD and LeBron, right? So now we got the right pieces, and now we've already improved. So I mean,
but like what you just said, the right pieces with AD and LeBron. You're missing LeBron.
Okay, that's fine. But we got one of the part. It was two parts.
But you need two.
It was the healthy stars and LeBron and AD, and it was the right parts. We didn't have neither. Now we have the right parts, and all we got to do is get a healthy LeBron and AD. And once that happens, I'm telling you, Trent, nobody in the league wants to see the Lakers in a 7-game series.
But
let's talk about some devastating news. Okay, let's talk about some news that hurt my heart. Jonathan Isaac out for the rest of the season with a torn left abductor muscle. I don't even know what that is. I think that's like a shoulder muscle. I don't know. But Jonathan Isaac, after missing, I believe, like 2-3 years, he's out for the rest of the season. T, when you called me on the phone, you said his career is over. Do you really believe that?
100%.
That's crazy.
I 100% believe his career's over. He's 25 years old. He missed 2 to 3 seasons. Um, this is gonna. You gotta think about it, John. Right? I'm not. How long? What's the injury called?
It's a torn left abductor muscle. I don't know where an abductor is. An
Torn.
abductor. Like
Okay, right. So I just want to see like the recovery time for that. So it says 12 to 16 weeks, right? And then it says 4 to 12 weeks to heal, right? So I mean, I think he could be back for next season, obviously, right? 100%. But John, bro, why does a team want to continue to keep a player on their team that just continues to miss time? And I love what Jonathan Isaac does, bro, because when he came back, he was looking pretty solid, right? In like 9 minutes, he had like 10 points. Like, I don't think you know how impressive that is. In 9 minutes, 10 points, you know?
it's very impressive. It's almost a point every minute.
Yeah, literally. But not only that, he had like 3 rebounds and like 2 assists and stuff like that. Like, if you see his stats, right? He came back 11 minutes, 5 points a game, 40% from the field, 40% from the 3-point line, 4 rebounds, and at 1.3 steals. Like, obviously, the more minutes he gets, the stats are going to go up a little bit. But he already showed like the potential of like him being the old Jonathan Isaac, right? Helping on the rebound, playing some really, really good defense, scoring and stuff like that. But man, I know personally his mental for a player like Jonathan Isaac, that's what I'm thinking about. Is he thinking about retirement? Because it's like after you miss this much time and then get injured right again after 11 games played, do you even want to play basketball? You get unmotivated, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, am I ever going to be healthy for my rest of my career? You just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's really upsetting. Like when I got that notification, I was just sitting there, jaw dropped, like just feel bad for him because yeah, I mean,
And
you
and
don't
it's
know what's gonna
sad.
happen.
It's sad because when he only played 4 years.
Yeah. And another thing I want to bring up is like it just kind of reminded me of like even if he is good, still has the potential of being an NBA player, teams might not take a chance on him just because of his injury history, right? I mean, look at Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy was still able to hoop, was still able to be that guy, but no teams wanted to take a chance on him because of his injury history. So that might be
Yeah, I
the
mean,
case for
yeah,
Jonathan
that's
Isaac.
a good point. But man, I'm just thinking of his mentor right now. And it's crazy because I feel like I don't see no one really talking about this. And I think it's because of his things he did in the past. So people are not fans of Jonathan Isaac. But like I feel like this is a big thing to be talked about right now. Like
It's a
player
huge
that just
thing,
missed like 4 3 seasons and then come back to play 11 games and then gets injured again.
which is wild. And I'm pretty sure he was a high draft pick, wasn't he? He was a sixth pick in the twenty
Yeah.
seventeen draft pick. And
So
that's wild. That
and
is,
I all I care about is dude's mental, man, right now. Right.
man, I
That's
hope dude is straight.
dude's mental. I know his mental's cooked right now.
Man, appreciate you bringing that up, my boy. But let's go ahead and get to our first segment of the show here, and that is the Who Is segment. My
Let's get it.
boys,
Let's get it. Let's get it.
let's get it. Let's get it. So the way we're gonna do this is I have a statement. I'm gonna say who is, and then you tell me who that person is to you. For example, if I say who is your MVP, and then you tell me Jokic or whoever you have. I heard earlier you said he's gonna be back to back to back, so that's why I had to throw that in there. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. You understand the rules, on boy? You understand how it goes?
Yep. Let's get it.
All right. And for the family at home, feel free to play it as well. Follow along. Here we go. Who is the most dominant team in the NBA?
Milwaukee Bucks. 16-game win streak, 10-0 in their last 10. And part of that 16-game win streak, Giannis wasn't playing some of them.
Look, hey, I know we talked about this on the phone yesterday, T, and I really want to go Bucks. I really do. But I'm gonna have for the sake of the episode, for the sake of the argument's sake, I gotta go to the other side. I gotta go to Celtics, man. I mean, look, their starting five has only played 4 games together all season, yet they still have been able to do what they've done. When you look at this team, when you look at just depth and just dominance, I mean, JB, JT, that's 2 all-stars right there, arguably 2 MVP caliber players. Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year. Rob Will, we know he do. Time Lord, Derek White, a big time six man. He knows how to step up. Grant Williams, Al Horford, and a key piece to all this, Malcolm Brogdon. Man, I mean, you got a player who could be a starting point guard on any NBA team 14 points per game, 4 assists, 4 rebounds on 48% from the field, and the 3-point line coming off the bench. I got to go with the Celtics. It's the most dominant team in the league right now.
I mean, you could talk about Chris Middleton's only playing 20 games.
Okay.
and Giannis only played about 50 games this year. So those are your two best players, and you're still winning games. And Bobby Portis was out for a while. So
I felt that one because Bobby is on my fantasy, man. But all right, let's keep pushing. Who is the most slept on team in the league?
The most slept on team in the league, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a good one. Man, I think, bro, this one's gonna be crazy take. But I'm gonna go either Golden State or Hawks. And the reason why I say that is because I don't think the Knicks are slept on. I think people are recognizing them, right? Cavaliers, people know them, right? So then when you look at slept on, like I can't pick the Kings. Everybody knows the Kings are balling, right? So who are you going to talk about slept on, right? That I'm actually curious to hear your answer.
Okay, I got Oklahoma City Thunder, and then I got another team as well, actually.
Okay.
The Utah Jazz.
Well, I was looking at playoff teams, right?
I mean, both. I mean, okay. I mean, if you're looking at top six, then all right, I guess. But I was just looking at in general because I mean, the Jazz, bro, they blew it up, and they're still sitting in the ninth seed, still somehow surprisingly winning games. And Oklahoma City Thunder surprisingly a lot better than what we thought they were gonna be.
The reason why I want to say Hawks, people are gonna look at me crazy. Like John, I always say, man, this team, they got players. They're deep. Let's not act like the Hawks are not deep. They can play basketball. They just added Quinn Snyder. They've been playing a little bit better basketball lately. So to watch out for them. And then, Warriors, man. The Warriors came from 11 seed on to 5th seed now.
Yeah.
They're in a 5-game win streak without Curry.
That is impressive. All right. Who is most likely to be a playoff disappointment? It could be a team or a player.
Memphis and Clippers.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, give me reasons on those. I think I know the Memphis, but give me the reasons on the Clippers.
I think Memphis are just frauds overall. I mean,
okay.
listen, they were struggling, without LeBron, right? Like LeBron didn't even play that game. They were struggling that whole game until Ja had to go off in that third quarter. But they do that every single night, like literally consecutively. But anyways, the Clippers, man, 5-game losing streak, 3-7 their last 10. Tyler is not working the rotations properly. He started Marcus Morris, who can't play basketball no more. Robert Covington doesn't get DMPs. I mean, he gets a bunch of DMPs now, and he's playing some good basketball. Right? And then they can't play defense. They were a top 10 defense elite. They're top 27 now, John. Like, how you fall down that bad? If you just look at their points, they're giving 100 plus points every single night, right? They gave up 170 to the Kings, and then just yesterday they gave up 120 again. They can't play defense. They're getting wrecked in the paint, can't play defense, and mainly it's because Zubac has been out for injury, so injuries do happen, and that's sad reality, but they just can't play defense right now.
It's all the Brody fault.
Next question.
Niggas is in their feelings. All right. Who I have for the most likely to be playoff disappointment.
Yeah.
People are not gonna like this answer, but I'm just gonna be real. The Kings. The Kings got no real playoff experience. They're the Utah Jazz right now. They're regular season good team. I don't think they're gonna be that good in the playoffs. Sorry to my Kings lovers out there. My guy Shane. Still appreciate you though. I'm heading to the Kings versus Pelican games on Monday.
I need Kings to win that game.
I need Kings to win that game. That'll be a big game. All right. Who's most likely to be a playoff surprise?
Man, bro, I just realized you said the King. Like, John, why the King? I just wanted the Kings. I just told you.
I just told you.
No, I know the reasonings, but the Kings. I think the reason why they can always be in the matter of games is because they're the number one scoring team in the league. No one can stop them on the offense. But anyways, what's the question again?
Who is most likely to be a playoff surprise?
Playoff surprise. Man. Man, I mean, bro, who's your playoff surprise?
The Lakers
That's it.
or the Clippers. It's I'd say no. Actually, I take that back. Not Lakers or Clippers. It's either Lakers or Pelicans. I'd say that the teams that are sitting at that like 10, 11, 12 seed, but really actually have a good roster, and if they had a chance to put it together, they can actually do damage in the
See,
playoffs.
see, when you say that stuff, right? I look at the Pelicans, and I don't think they're surprised because we all know what they are, right? Um, so when I look at a surprise, I was probably like look at Utah, right? Because like we don't really know who they are. Like we do and we don't. You know, like Pelicans. Not if they Pelicans go win a championship, will you be surprised? You'd be surprised a little bit, but not really. The team's good, right?
Yeah,
You
they're
look
in the
at
one
the
seed.
yeah, you look at the Lakers. Like I said what I said, but at the end of the day, they got the greatest player of all time, right? So you won't be surprised about that, right? So I'd probably just say that like the loser teams, like the Jazz or something that have a good chance, maybe the Blazers, right? You look at the Blazers, even though they're in third team seed, maybe like
Okay.
those two seeds. So because we're talking surprise, right? Maybe you could look at Atlanta once again, you know.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Here's my last who is question. Who is your MVP?
Nikola Jokic.
You have some reasons as to why, or I mean,
Man, bro. I don't even need to say reasons, man. Everybody knows what's up, bro. They're number one seed in the league. The year that he's having is just super impressive, right? And what I want to say is, right, not only is he averaging a triple double, but John, he's efficient with it, right? So he's shooting 63% from the field, but shooting 40% from the 3-point line. That is absolutely incredible, right? 24 and a half points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, 1.2 steals, 0.7 blocks. He's a center that's leading his team to the number one seed, which is absolutely incredible because, like, my boy always told me, he's like, I don't think a center can win you a championship as your number one guy. He always told me that. And then I look at Joel Embiid and I'm like, man, it might be true because, dude, that dude's dominant. He could just never win, right? And Jokic, and he hasn't won yet, but Jokic is just doing this. He's he's just having fun out there. John, I watched him against the Clippers. He gets the ball right here, looking for his teammates. Pass, or you don't pass, shot, one leg floater. Like the dude is just, bro. If you just look at his field goal percentage, 7 for 10, 7 for 11, 14 for 21, 7 for 11, 8 for 13. No, you know how crazy that is.
it's
Like,
wild.
it's just wild. The efficiency, but not only is that, he is dominating on the board count. You don't really look at Jokic as being like a dominant rebound or something. Bro, he had 18 rebounds, 11, 17, 13, 18 again, 13. That's dominant, right? And he's a point guard that's, I believe, not a point guard. He's a center that's averaging what, um, 10 assists a game, which that has to be top five in the league, right?
Yeah, that
That
is
has
top five.
as a center. So number one seed, averaging triple double, but being effective with it, super efficient. Um, and I always say, man, you win MVPs because you're number one seed, no matter what.
Yo, honestly, team, like it's hard to put up an argument against that. Like it really is hard. My literal only argument against that is that Jokic won't win MVP
Because of
because of the back to
yeah,
back to back and the back and like the only he'd have been the only person in NBA history to ever do that. Like that is my literal only reason why I don't think he will win MVP. My original pick was Luca. I'll be honest with you. I said that at the beginning of the season, and I really want to stick to it, and I'm still sticking to it. I'm not moving away from it. But I just want to say this. I just want to add a little caveat. My eyes have recently been on Joel Embiid and Jokic too. Jokic's been doing the same, but my eyes have been on Joel, man, because look, the last 2 years he's gotten played. Okay, I understand Jokic has been doing this thing, but I think you could have made a case for both of these last 2 years of Joel Embiid for MVP, and he's gotten robbed both times these last 2 years. And then right now he's 33 points per game, which is second in the NBA to Luca. He's constantly back and forth with Luca, tying of that. He's 10.4 rebounds per game. He's 4 assists per game on 53% from the field, 33% from the 3-point line, and 86% from the free throw line on a career high 11.7 times where he's getting to the free throw line. So he's being extremely aggressive. And the reason why I lean on him versus Luca is his team sits in the third seed of the East, which this year right now I could confidently say the top of the East is looking better than the top of the West. So Joel is sitting at the 3rd seed at the top of the East, while Luka is sitting at the 6th seed in the West. Which, again, we talked about it earlier. The 6th seed in the West is 3 games away from being the 11th seed in the West. So there's. I just wanted to make it clear that there's levels to this. And Joel Embiid, for the last 3 months, the last straight 3 months, he's been averaging 30 points per game, 10 rebounds on 50% or better from the field, and nobody's done that in NBA history besides Shaq, Kareem, and Giannis. So just got to give Joel his love and his praise, man. Hoping he can get an MVP. Keeps getting robbed. Bless you, my dog.
No, you know what's crazy? I actually want Joel Embiid to win too. I think everybody wants him to win because he just every single night, man, the dude dominates. Like he's just that dude, right? And I used to not like Joel because him and Russ had this little thing, but Joel shows Russ respect now. And I really just feel bad for Joel, right? He wasn't a starter. He wasn't a starter until injuries came, right? He easily should have been a starter, but it is what it is, right? He keeps losing to Jokic in the MVP battles. He lost to Kawhi Leonard for the game. He lost the game winner that sent him home. He started crying. I just feel bad for him, man. But only thing is, man, Joel only played 49 games this year, and Jokic played 56. So I think you got to put that in there, because that matters, right? And Jokic is the number 1 seed. So I don't even want to argue with that because I like Joel. I really do,
man.
Right? But I know this episode is getting a little bit longer, so I'm just gonna do my segment real quick. So it's gonna be like, would you rather? But it's not gonna be like, would you rather have Dame or Trae Young? We ain't doing that, right? So we're gonna do a little bit something different. So I'm gonna ask John a few questions, right? I'm gonna be like, okay, this is the question right here, John. Okay, would you rather have 6 rings, number 10 in history in scoring, 2 MVPs, or 4 rings, number 1 in scoring, and 5 MVPs?
All right. So what the first option was 6 rings, number 10 in scoring, and then
2 MVPs. Okay. And then the second option was 4 rings, number 1 in scoring, 5 MVPs.
I'm taking second option.
Yeah, I think I'll take that one. I think it's a good one because of the 6 rings, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get 6 rings, man. I mean,
can't nobody deny you, because once you have rings, bro, like can't
Yeah.
nobody deny. And the other day you even said this, T. You said if Russell Westbrook gets a ring, can't nobody say nothing.
Nope.
So I'm
All right. So this one says they're both no rings. Top 5. So the first one is going to be no rings. Top 5 in scoring, 1 MVP, but 2 scoring titles. And then the second one is going to be no rings, top 10 in scoring, 1 MVP, but lead the league in assists.
Run that second one back again.
No rings, top 10 in scoring, 1 MVP, lead the league in assists twice.
Oh, I'm taking that second one, baby. That second one. That player is more versatile, man.
Really? So you're not going to go with the scoring title?
Yeah, I'm not going scoring title, man. I mean, he led the league in assists twice, and he's been top 10 in scoring. I mean, that's a versatile player right there.
All right. So what if I told you that's LeBron and Kareem?
Oh,
like got him. All right, listen, right? So listen. All right, now it's mine. It's gonna be okay. Would you rather have? I mean, this is gonna be a crazy number, right? I'm not gonna say crazy number. Okay, top 5 in steals, top 5 in assists, top 5 in scoring, right? But you lead the league in turnovers for 5 years in a row. You're the most inefficient player, but you have 5 MVPs. Right? You remember all that.
Okay.
Or would you rather just have 1 ring and that's it? Hold on. One ring. You're number 1 in the league in turnovers in NBA history.
Oh. But the other dude was too. So.
Yeah, so that's why you gotta choose, right? And you lead the league in assists, but you also led the league in scoring. And the other dude, I'm gonna add the other dude did have a ring.
Okay, so run the first dude back for me.
Bro, I ain't knocking, bro. But you know my memory's toast.
Oh man.
Top 5 in scoring, top 5 assists, top 5 in steals, lead the league in turnovers, and had one title.
Okay.
Okay. This one had top five. Same. So he's gonna have the same three as the first two. So assists and steals and right and turnovers. But this dude is gonna have two MVPs and lead the league in assists, but only once.
I'm gonna go with that second guy. I mean, he got two MVPs.
Okay.
I gotta rock
But see, you know what's crazy about these MVPs? A lot of people, that's fine, your answer, right? But a lot of people downplay them depending who the player is. Right? Let's be honest with you. A lot of people downplay these MVPs in the sense it depending who the player is. You know who I'm talking about. They downplayed my man. He should have never won it. This and that. Should have been this player. Should have been that player. Da, 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 da. So I just like to throw that out there, right? But for the family, I've one more. But for the family, it might be a little confusing. Just pause the video, write it down, pause the video for part two. No, not part two, but like the second part. You know what I'm saying, right? Okay, now I'm gonna ask you a straight up question. One more question. I'm gonna ask you a straight up question. Who is the second best shooter in NBA history? Would you rather have prime Clay or prime Dame? Hear it out. It may seem easy, but let's not forget about what Clay has done. Let's not forget about that. Prime Clay, prime Dame.
Both great shooters, but I'm taking prime Dame. And the reason why I'm taking prime Dame is I feel like Dame is equal to, if not much worse than Klay Thompson with catching and shooting, but he's a much better shooter off the dribble than Klay is.
Before you go with that answer, this is overall. You're still taking Dame.
I'm still taking Dame. Taking Dame.
With the resume of Klay Thompson?
With the resume of Klay Thompson, I'm still taking Dame. Because look, I say this all the time about Klay, and I might catch some heat for this. Klay Thompson never becomes the player he becomes if he goes to any other team. If he goes to another team that the system isn't run around and set screens and shoot threes, he doesn't become the player that he becomes, and he just is a good defender.
I don't know, man. I think another thing, people downplay resume a lot. I don't know why, because it's what you've done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Garrett brought that up, like, well, the resume, might be a little bit misleading and this and that. It's what he done his whole career. How is it misleading? It's what he has accomplished, And so I know a lot of people say, I'll take a player any day that has a ring, and Klay has the rings. So I'm interested to see what people. He has rings.
I mean, okay. That is true, but that's kind of like saying, okay, I'll take Luke Walton over freaking Dame because he has rings. You know what I'm saying?
Let's not. Klay was not that guy. You feel me? Klay,
Klay
was that guy, bro. He don't even need a dribble. He just, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't need a dribble.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Yes, sir, man. For the family at home, let us know in the comment section down below. Some of these who would you rather? Let us know who is. We hope you guys enjoyed this segment. We hope you guys enjoyed just this episode. We'll be back, man. Really not much to say. We'll be back. Fire content.
Debate Tuesday.
We do got a debate coming out. We're gonna record it on Tuesday. So it'll be out next week, man. So stay tuned for that. Got a whole lot of fire content on the way. Follow our Instagram, follow our TikTok, follow our Twitter at Clutch Talk Pod. But if that's it, then we out here, y'all. Peace.